Hello, everybody out there watching on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, and welcome to the Gatorade Duels here at Daytona International Speedway as we continue Daytona Speedweeks for the NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. So today we are going to have two 10-lap races, which is the Gatorade Duels. Duel 1 will be featuring drivers who are starting on or that qualified in the odd number spots like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, so on and so forth. So, PJ Williams will get to start on the front, but he's already locked into being on the pole for the Daytona 500 unless he were to run into trouble and forced out of the race. If that were the case, then he would have to start towards the back of the field, and whoever wins this race, excuse me, I apologize for all that, I can't help it. But say like if PJ Williams is wrecked out of the race and forced over the wall, then the pole setter would become the driver who wins this race. But if Williams manages to keep himself out of trouble, then he'll get to stay starting in the pole position. But really, this race is to really determine how the rest of the odd number starting spots will be for the Daytona 500. So with that said, with the lineup you have, it's PJ Williams, Zachary Fitzwater on row 1, row 2 being Tanner Sullivan, Joshua Collard, row 3, Ryan Acosta, Bob Jones. Row 4, Johnny Gardner and Dorian Facepuncher. Row 5, Carson Gum and Seth Cole. Row 6, Trent Dunham and Dylan Poteet. Row 7, James Silverfox, Daniel Day. Row 8, Pichu London, Austin LaPlante. Row 9 is DJ Curtis and Zach Buchanan. Row 10, James McLeod, David Rivera. And starting dead last will be Sean Galligan. But with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for Gatorade Duel number 1.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it. So now these cars are going to go through the one lap of pacing. Give me just a moment. There we go. Should be fine for now. But, so yeah, this is going to be interesting because from what I've seen happen in Gatorade Duels, say in the Snickers Cup series, sometimes the pole setter runs into trouble. I've seen it happen in the Season 7 Snickers Cup Gatorade Duels where Kenny McCrory was going to start on the pole for the Daytona 500 and ended up getting wrecked out and forced to start in the back. So we could see something like that, maybe not. We'll see how this race plays out. And Dylan Thoreau will get to start on the pole position for duel number 2, where that duel will determine the even-numbered starting drivers for the Daytona 500. Also, for those who are not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go subscribe now, Thrash Maniac 99, if you want to see the NNSCRA Walking Dead series, where pretty much it's a developmental series for this, because whoever's the champion at the end of that season will be the will get a guaranteed ride for Season 9 Walmart Cup Series. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe now. And you also can get other content like wrestling content, some music content like review of music, and gameplay and all kinds of stuff. So go subscribe today if you haven't. And also subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. And here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing. So really, PJ Williams, all he has to do is just stay on the racetrack. And if he does that, he will be safe to start on the pole for the Daytona 500 like he qualified in. Already a lot of shuffling going on as Ryan Acosta goes up to third as he blocks the two Richard Petty Motorsports Dodge Darts while he's in a Dodge Dart for Evernham Motorsports. Now, Ryan Acosta had a pretty successful Budweiser shootout. He won the LCQ, if I can recall, but he ended up finishing 12th in that race, so maybe that momentum can carry over here to this duel event, and maybe he can start up to third in the actual Daytona 500 as he's coming underneath Tanner Sullivan for second. And then behind that, battle for fourth was going on. Johnny Gardner went by Zachary Fitzwater. As you can see, a lot of position shuffling is going on in the back of the pack. And now there's Gardner's teammate, rookie Carson Gum, is now up here in the mix. And Seth Cole, so you got quite a few Tweenix cars, actually 4 Tweenix cars. Make that 5 that are running in the top 10 or so, being Gardner, Gum, Cole, Silver Fox, and McLeod. I think McLeod's just on the outside of the top 10. And then you got Dylan Poteet, who's a little bit toward the back right now. But you got quite a lot of Tweenix cars here in this field. But you got a couple more that are left to be raced in duel number 2, like Matt McIntyre and Danny Wells. I believe those are the only ones of Tweenix that are left to race. So there you have it with that. Back up at the front, PJ Williams continues to lead the way here in the Gatorade Duel number 1. If he were to win this duel, then Johnny Gardner would be the guy to start third, since he is only 1 spot behind. But remember, anything can still happen. We're not to the halfway point just yet. And we see a nice little train formation going on, but now that's getting broken up as 3 wide for second. Seth Cole in the middle with Johnny Gardner high, and down low is rookie Ryan Acosta. Man, Acosta's just been on a tear here at Daytona Speedweeks. Because like I said, he did pretty good in the Bud Shootout events. Then he had a pretty good qualifying spot here for duel number 1, and now he's currently running in second, so if things go his way right now, he could be starting third in the Daytona 500. But he's got another rookie right behind him, DJ Curtis in the 20. But he's got now James McLeod coming underneath for the 3rd spot. And boy, how big would it be for James McLeod if he can kick off this season with a bang, because last season, despite getting a lot of good finishes towards the end of the season, he struggled for the most part. So McLeod really looking for some momentum here in this race, as he's currently in second. And he's got Sean Galligan, Daniel Day, Carson Gum, Austin LaPlante, and James Silverfox all on the line, at least that are close together. But now Galligan, he's going to pull up in front of his old ride from last season, the 12 car of Daniel Day, for second. So Galligan trying to get up there. But nobody's really been a challenge to PJ Williams, as we are now coming to 4 laps to go, coming to the stripe here. There's still opportunities for these drivers to make moves on that 88. I guess they're maybe waiting to time it just right. But Galligan's right there to the 88 car, and then they're kind of separated back to Daniel Day and Carson Gum. But Galligan staying tucked in line right behind that back bumper of the 88 car. Meanwhile, Galligan's Ganassi Racing teammate Zach Buchanan's in the back right now. Bob Jones currently in dead last here in this field. Not really what Bob Jones was looking for. Because if that were the case, then Bob Jones would end up starting 41st in the Daytona 500. But now Daniel Day has entered the picture. He's right behind Galligan now, so it's a 3-car breakaway from the rest of the field right now. But those guys can easily get up there if they tried. And now Galligan was thinking about making the move, but he decided to get back in line. But when we come to the stripe, it'll be 2 laps to go here in the Gatorade Duel number 1 event. And then after this, we'll move on to Gatorade Duel number 2, 2 laps to go. And now Carson Gum is now trying to enter into the 4-car battle for the lead now. Virtually most of this field still has a chance, but they're going to have to haul it right now because they're running out of time to do anything. Galligan's still staying tucked in line, same with Daniel Day, Carson Gum. McLeod trying to maybe break that train up. Now he's now a 5-car train. Nobody's really darted low to go by P.J. Williams. Williams so far has dominated Gatorade Duel number 1. Maybe they're waiting for the right moment as the white flag is out. If P.J. Williams wins, it won't matter. It would be Sean Galligan to start 3rd as a result. But Galligan wants to win this event just for the sake of winning a race in any way, shape, or form. But he is not pulled out of line. Nobody's pulling out of line except for McLeod, but that's for 4th. Trying to get underneath Carson. They're going to have one final chance. Galligan's going to have one final shot coming out of turn 4 to make the big move. If he doesn't, then it's going to be all Williams. Oh, I thought he was going to do it, but it ain't going to be enough. Coming to the checkered flag, P.J. Williams wins Gatorade Duel number 1. But Galligan will get to start 3rd in the Daytona 500 now, so. But congrats to P.J. Williams. Man, he has been on fire now. He got the pole for the 500, and now he wins Gatorade Duel number 1, so he gets to keep his number 1 spot in the Daytona 500. So congratulations to P.J. Williams. Now for the rest of the results, as far as the odd number driver starters, Galligan will get to start 3rd. Daniel Day will get to start in 5th. Carson Gum will get to start 6th. James McLeod will start 8th. Tanner Sullivan 10th. Austin LaPlante 12th. Ryan Acosta 14th. Johnny Gardner 16th. James Silverfox 18th. Joshua Collard 20th. DJ Curtis 22nd, Dylan Poteet 24th, Zachary Fitzwater 26th, Dorian Facepuncher 28th, David Rivera 30th, Zach Buchanan 32nd, Seth Cole 34th, Trent Dunham 36th, Pichu London 38th, and then Bob Jones in 40th. I feel like I'm missing something here. Yeah. I guess that was it, but. Or actually, no, I miscounted. I did even numbers. What was I doing? I apologize for that. I meant odd numbers. So, Bob Jones would get to start 41st. So, never mind. I have no idea what happened there with my head, But anyways, thank you guys for checking out Duel number 1, but stick around. Coming up next here in this video will be Gatorade Duel number 2. But until then, before we get started, here's a look at your results once again for Gatorade Duel number 1. Hello and welcome back to the Gatorade Duels as we get set for Gatorade Duel number 2, where we will determine the even number spots of the Daytona 500. Dylan Thoreau is starting on the pole for this race. So in the first row, along with him is Matt McIntyre. Row 2 will be Charles Sanford and Kyle Matthews. Row 3 is a double female row 3, Jesse Setti and Jessica Shelton. Row 4 is Rue McIntyre and Chris Washer. Row 5, Dylan Young and Austin Mongold. Row 6, Dougie Shears and Tim Walsh. Row 7, Stephen Pollard III and Angel Navarro. Row 8 is Danny Wells and Chris Michaels. Row 9 is Anthony McCurry, Michael Norman. Row 10 is Charles Jackson, Cody Lamas. And then starting dead last in row 11 will be Preston Plord. But with that said, if Dylan Thoreau can survive this race, he will get to stay in the second spot for the Daytona 500. But if he gets wrecked out and forced over the wall, then he will have to start around the back of the field, and whoever wins this race will get to start in second for the Daytona 500. So with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for Gatorade Duel number 2.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. So in this field, you have quite a good amount of Roush Fenway racing cars in the field. You have guys like Dylan Thoreau who are in this field, with Rue McIntyre, his teammate Austin Mongold, Preston Plord in the field as well. So you have a good amount of Roush Fenway cars here in this field, but you also got quite a good amount of Hendrick Motorsports cars. You've got Kyle Matthews, you've got Jessica Shelton, Chris Washer. So, yeah. And then a couple of Joe Gibbs cars, Angel Navarro and Charles Jackson, are all in this field too as well. And then 2 Tweenix cars, Matt McIntyre, Danny Wells. Both of the BK Red Bull racing cars of Dougie Shears, Stephen Pollard III are in this field. So it's going to be interesting. Also, a couple of the Richard Childress racing cars, Charles Sanford and Michael Norman, are also in this field. 2 Penske cars, Jesse Setti and Dylan Young. And so with that said, and then everybody else are single cars. Teams are in teams, but their teammates have already raced. So we shall see how this race unfolds. I've got a feeling they may be a little wackier than it was in duel number 1. We might see one of these guys, aside from Dylan Thoreau, to win this race and get to the 4th spot for the Daytona 500. So with that being said, the pace car getting ready to pull in. He is now pulling into pit road. And now they're at the box, and here we go. Boogity, 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 let's go duel racing again. Another 10 laps here for the duel events. And then with the remainder of Daytona Speedweeks, for those, like I said, who aren't subscribed to my channel, ThrashManiac99, go subscribe there now to see, after this race, the NNSCRA Walking Dead series event. The first race, the Daytona 250. And then after that, we get the Daytona 500 here. But anyways, Dylan Thoreau keeping himself up at front with Charles Sanford in line behind him, and then it's kind of separated a little bit. And Dylan Thoreau will lead the first lap of Gatorade Duel number 2. Now look at this battle for third with the couple, Rue McIntyre and Jesse Setti. Rue now takes over the 3rd spot, and Dylan Young now going under his teammate, of Jesse Setti for 4th. And now Stephen Pollard III moves in line in front of Setti for the 5th spot. Rue McIntyre now thinking about maybe going underneath Charles Sanford for second to make it a Roush 1-2 right now. And indeed, it is a Roush 1-2 field right now, with Thoreau in the lead, Rue McIntyre second, but now here comes Dylan Young, who's a fellow Ford, but a part of Penske Racing. So currently have Fords running first, second, third right now in the top 5, but now that's going to get broken up because here comes Stephen Pollard III, who had a successful season in Season 7. He won twice, made the chase, and finished, I believe, 7th in the standings. We'll see if he can improve on that and maybe win more races or even get the championship. Chris Washer now into second, and now Washer, he's going to be the guy to look out for this season because he's going back to an old ride that put him in the old glory back in the first 3 seasons of Walmart Cup Series, where he dominated win-wise and making chases and such. Chris Washer back in the 24, and so far here in this race, he's showing that he's getting his swagger back as he's in second right now. But he might get bypassed because now Austin Mongold, I thought he would get in line in front of teammate Preston Plord to get to second, but he decided to tuck in line behind Washer. And Dougie Shear's starting to lose the draft a little bit, so that is unfortunate for him, but he might catch back up because he's not too far behind. It's just going to take a little bit of help for him to get back up there. He's about 2 seconds behind the lead and 7/10 behind the draft, so I think he is going to lose the draft now. Next time by, he'll be halfway through, and Dylan Thoreau pretty much doing what P.J. Williams did in duel number 1, staying up at the front. Washer just staying in line. Maybe he's waiting to make his move here in a moment, but he's just right now being conservative, staying in second in line behind the leader. Oh, I thought he would go low and maybe make the move, but Preston Plord didn't go with him. And now I see Chris Michaels in the 8 car, in the Budweiser car, coming into the picture. He's now in 4th, coming underneath for 3rd, underneath of Plord. And Chris Michaels had a pretty good season in Season 7. Made the chase, finished 5th in the standings, but he didn't win a race. Chris Michaels thinking about trying to go for second, but nobody's going with him. Oh, and Washer about turned himself because Michaels just barely came into that hole, and now he's coming into second. Chris Michaels, that is. And he's got Charles Sanford right behind him. But now it's going to be 3 wide for second as Sanford's getting the push from Anthony McCrory, or a slipstream off of him, the draft. And this is exactly what Dylan Thoreau likes to see, is those guys battling so he can keep the lead. But anyways, Charles Sanford now trying to get clear of the 8 car as he still has McCrory behind him to work with. But we'll see if those two can make the move to get up to the 99, although Sanford got out of line, so that made for McCrory to get underneath for second as it's 3 laps to go here in duel number 2. And Dylan Thoreau is doing what P.J. Williams did, and that's mirror driving, keeping the lead and dominating. But can McCrory and Michael Norman make the move to get by him? Oh, this is the first attempt. McCrory darting low, but nobody went with him, but he's going to have the edge. He is there, so the first time today in duels, we get a lead change. Anthony McCrory going to go to the point, but nobody's with him in the draft. That might be a bit of a problem, but he's going to get some help coming soon. Cody Lamas is coming, along with Preston Plord and Stephen Pollard the third, although Thoreau led that lap, but it's 2 to go, and McCrory is still there underneath of him. But he's about to get the help from Lamas. Lamas is heading to that back bumper of McCrory. It is still side by side, but now McCrory's going to get the edge because he's got Lamas right there with him. But now it's going to be 3 wide for third. Preston Plord darting low. But McCrory looks like he's going to get the lead this lap, and it'll be the lap before last, so we're coming to the white flag. White flag is out, and the first time in the duels today, a lead change. Anthony McCrory led that lap, but can he stay up there? Dylan Thoreau, like I said, I don't think he's going to mind not winning this race because he'll still get to start second as long as he doesn't get crashed and forced out of the race. But McCrory actually clears Dylan Thoreau. But now he's going to have a couple cars to contend with as Preston Plord tried, but he wasn't quick enough as he had his teammate Rue McIntyre behind him. But it looks like it's going to be all McCrory coming out of turn 4. Nobody's going to be able to make anything happen to him. Checkered flag. Anthony McCrory wins the Gatorade Duel number 2 race. Anthony McCrory will get to start 4th in the Daytona 500. What a job at the end for that 61 Audi. Great run for McCrory. But now as we look at the rest of the results as well as how the even number drivers are going to start, Dylan Thoreau will still get to be 2nd, McCrory will be 4th, Preston Plord will be 6th, Rue McIntyre 8th, Chris Washer 10th, Stephen Pollard III will be 12th, Tim Walsh will be 14th, Chris Michaels 16th, Cody Lamas 18th, Jesse Setti 20th. 22nd will be Charles Sanford, 24th, Michael Norman, 26th, Austin Mongold, 28th, Charles Jackson, 30th, Jessica Shelton, 32nd, Angel Navarro, 34th, Matt McIntyre, 36th, Kyle Matthews, 38th, Dylan Young, 40th, Danny Wells, and starting dead last will be Dougie Shears. But that does it for our coverage today here for the Gatorade Duels, so congratulations to PJ Williams and Anthony McCrory for winning the races. But that's going to do it for these events. But stick around for later on in the week because the Daytona 500 will be coming soon. And also go to my channel for the Walking Dead series Daytona 250, which will be out after this. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this race. I'm Levi McIntyre saying so long, and thank you for tuning in to the NNSCRA Sports Channel, Offline Racing at its best.